Do you have a hard time keeping books that are gifted to you, whether you have consumed them, whether you have moved on from them? Like,
I don't think I ever get rid of books.
I have 10 books on loan right now.
do you ever get rid of them?
If I was gifted them,
Yeah. Does that bother you?
if I didn't enjoy it or if I know I'm never going to read it and someone just got it for me, I probably don't have an issue getting rid of
That's
it.
just what I was curious because, like, there was a long time for me where it was like, well, this person gave it to me as a birthday gift. Should I? I didn't love it. I read it, but then, like, I wanted it off my
I think
shelf.
that's fair game.
Okay.
They gave it to you to read. You read it. You did the job. Move on.
I keep all books.
Do you?
I keep every birthday card I've ever been given.
Oh, me too.
Aw,
Since
I
I
keep all
was,
the
like,
ones you
8.
send me because they're just so heartfelt.
I like to write my feelings.
Yeah, you do.
Welcome to Book Thoughts. We are Thoughts for Books, and these are our thoughts on books. For today's episode, we are doing part 1 of our 3-part review of Fearless, the third and final book of the Powerless Trilogy by Lauren Roberts.
Before we jump in, we do have a content warning. Today's podcast is rated mature. We are book thoughts after all, so we are going to be using adult language, talking about adult topics, so please pay attention to who may be listening near you. I think it goes without saying, but this episode will contain spoilers for Powerless, Powerful, Reckless, and Fearless. Lastly, I'm just going to apologize ahead of time. I, maybe we, will at least mispronounce a name or a place. Emily will be leading this episode, so let's jump into the strip down.
All right. Are we ready?
I think that Red Bull's kicking in.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Red Bull. Have
Red
you ever
Bull.
had a Red Bull?
Red Bull. That's my favorite part. I had a Red Bull today. Do you have a Red Bull? I had a Red Bull. I tried it for the first time. It was very good. I love Red Bull. Red Bull. Red Bull.
And
Do you know what that's from?
No, but you need to say it in a French accent.
Oh, yes. As usual, if you don't need the red cup. That's pretty good.
I don't even know
All right,
what you said.
What is it from?
I said, as usual.
You read
I was reading
the
the
opening.
recap. Yeah. It's from Yes Man.
Oh, okay.
It's Jim Carrey.
It's-
She
yeah.
did spot on.
Yeah. Wow, I haven't seen that one in a long time.
In a different life, I was an actress.
Actor.
Or an actor. As usual, if you don't need the recap, please click the timestamp below or check the summary to skip ahead straight to the discussion. Today we'll be recapping the prologue and chapters 1 through 14. We've been starting all of the recaps with the book dedication, so for Fearless, it is for those fearless enough to follow their heart. And we all said, aww. We open up with 2 cloaked figures meeting in the dead of night. We don't know who they are, but we do know the only reason they are meeting is because they have both been touched by the tragedy of love. Now, back to where we left off. Why the hell is Kitt proposing? While Paedyn is contemplating her choice, or lack thereof, Kitt gives a heartfelt speech about elites and ordinaries and the plague, and ends it all with declaring that ordinaries will be welcomed back to their kingdom. Oh, and they will also reinstate trade with Dor, Tando, and Isram? Don't know about them? You should check them out. Paedyn ends up accepting the proposal with a simple nod and an eternal declaration that this is the sacrifice that must be made for the ordinaries, helping her accept her fate. How's Kai dealing with this? Well, he opens his chapter up with saying, I thought I'd known torment until it wrapped around her finger. So not well. Although I do agree with him when he says he has no one else to blame but himself. Kai follows Paedyn as she is leaving the throne room. He just can't take it anymore and throws Pay over his shoulders and takes her to a broom closet. Ooh la la. The broom closet conversation is rather simple. I thought I was going to die. Now I'm getting married. Ilya is in need. What's Kitt really up to? I still love you, blah, blah, blah. It ends with a kiss, and just as their lips touch, the door flies open, freaking Ellie. No, but really, it's fun to see Ellie, but it does remind us of who we're missing, Adena. Ellie takes Paedyn to the Queen's quarters, the new ones, since the old quarters are still dedicated to the memory of Kitt's mom, Queen Iris, and Kai's mom is in the infirmary. Ellie catches her up on the palace gossip as she gets Paedyn cleaned up. The gossip? The staff isn't happy she's queen, but they wouldn't dare cross her. Kitt wasn't eating while he was mourning his father, but he's doing better. And Callum was in the dungeons, but is now an advisor. And lastly, the other resistance members are being held in the dungeons. After their conversation, Paedyn decides she needs to see the king immediately to tell him and Callum about the truth of the plague. On her way to find him, she makes a stop to see Lenny, but it's not a happy reunion. His job is to now protect Blair from Paedyn. Meanwhile, Kitt and Kai are catching up and the room is as cold as ice. But Kai gets the Enforcer ring back, the very reminder of everything he hates. So yay. Kitt explains that the king just wanted to eradicate the ordinaries, but Kitt wants to make Ilya great. Furthermore, Kitt doesn't want this engagement to come between him and Kai. The statement is almost laughable. To make matters worse, none other than Paedyn herself interrupts the conversation. She wants to know why the hell Blair is still alive, and then why he wants to marry her in the first place. He goes back to the same reason. Kitt wants a better Ilya. Paedyn then verbally accepts the proposal. The first palace meeting. Ellie helps Pae get dressed. We've missed their friendship, but it does feel a little strained. They both miss Adena. Paedyn nervously enters the throne room, but we get a wink from Kai, which settles her a little. Kitt does exactly what he says he was going to do. He tells his people a version of the truth. He lets the crowd know that the ordinaries were not weakening the kingdom. Banishing them did strengthen the kingdom, but cutting off trade did not. We are once again reminded this union is for Ilya, not the ordinaries. Additionally, Kitt says Paedyn killed the king out of defense, making the king look less bad. Flyers will be sent out to the town and surrounding nations. The meeting is over. That night, Paedyn has a nightmare about Adena. Kai hears her screams and breaks down the door to rescue her. Ladies, if he wants to, he will. He takes her to the willow tree, and they play a game of thumb war. The next day, Kitt, Kai, and Paedyn take the coach to parade their engagement. Kitt and Kai share childhood memories, and for a second, it's a glimpse of the brotherhood they used to share. Paedyn swiftly ruins the moment with interjecting. Kitt goes back to putting on the face of the king. During the parade, not a lot of elites show up. Shocker. Must be the 3 decades of hate. After some convincing from Paedyn,
Maybe.
just maybe, just might be. After some convincing from Paedyn to Kitt, they decide to go through the slums. Pae is reminiscing when a bomb goes off. Kai shields her and tells her to stay down so he can go scope the situation. She, of course, doesn't listen. As she exits the carriage and finds a bleeding boy, she holds him while he dies. Her heart, home, and loot is in shambles. Then we get our first Edric chapter. Edric, right? There's no other way to pronounce that name? Edric?
Edric.
Edric? Okay, there's a different name. It's not the way I said it. Edric.
What did you say first?
Edric.
I mean, I guess you could
You
say
could
that.
say it that way.
No, I'm an idiot. You guys are right. The first Edric chapter, baby. We meet Iris, Kitt's mother, the blue-eyed beauty who is pregnant. She's been hidden from the people for years. In fact, she's been hidden since Kitt's birth. Wait, what? Unsurprisingly, we see the king's quick temper as he notices a rose and wonders where it's from. We are told her end is near as she is in labor pains. The last bit of war is dwindling from Edric Ajul. Yeah. Edric Ajul.
Azul.
Back to the present. Callum checks Paedyn as she sits in shock by the fire from the explosion. Odd place to find comfort after an explosion, but to each their own. The explosion killed 9, but this time it's not the resistance, it's the elites. They are in an uprise against the decision to make Paedyn queen. They are demanding more. With that knowledge, a suggestion is made that Paedyn go back to the trials. Paedyn accepts, and she declares she will prove she is not a weakness that they wish to eradicate. The next day, Kitt announces to the court that Paedyn will re-enter the trials. She will face the 3 Bs: bravery, benevolence, brutality. Paedyn makes a killer announcement of her own, so bow at my feet with a sneer if you must. I won't see it with your face to the ground. I like that. That night, Paedyn lies awake thinking of her grim future, but although her almost guaranteed death haunts her, it's facing the trials without Adena that disturbs her most. I may have survived the last set of trials, but my light did not. After no luck with sleeping, Paedyn goes up and seeks out Kai. She is approaching the training arena when she hears Kitt's voice. He is talking to Kai. She eavesdrops on their conversation, which is some playful banter. Then Kitt asks Kai to train up their forces, even including the ordinaries left in the dungeon from the resistance. After Kitt leaves, Paedyn makes her presence known. They discuss what Paedyn overheard. What is Kitt up to? It seems good to train the ordinaries, but why? Then Kai and Paedyn get close, maybe too close for betrothed. Kai slings her over his shoulder and they head to the willow tree. The next day, Andy comes to fix the door Kai broke down after Paedyn's nightmare. They share a conversation about power. Andy states there is more to life than power. Paedyn disagrees. Only people with power can say that, because Paedyn's whole life has been about power and trying to survive without it. The conversation is interrupted by Lenny, who is there to escort Paedyn to dinner with Kitt. The highlights of dinner: Paedyn pushes for Kitt to forgive her for betraying his trust and murdering his father. Good luck with that. Kitt only wants the marriage to work for Ilya. Kitt knows about his brother's feelings for Paedyn, and the first 2 trials will take place in the Scorches and the Shallows. First on the docket to be tested: bravery. The night before the trial, Kai visits Paedyn despite his better judgment. She's an engaged woman after all, but he can't stay away. He brings her a gift, the dagger she's held at his throat one too many times. And he almost says, "I love you," but she tells him not to because every person who has ever said that to me is gone, and I need you more than I need those words. They share what could be their last kisses as she faces the first trial in the morning.
And before he kisses her, he moves her engagement ring to her other hand.
Oh, yes.
So it's just any other ring.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Of course, you want them to be together, and you're rooting for that in any kind of capacity because they're destined for each other. You can see that. It makes sense. They're the soulmates that you root for. But this whole book makes me feel like they're cheating.
That was going to be my first question is, do you feel icky about Kai and Paedyn still kissing and seeing each other behind Kitt's back?
It just makes me so mad because I feel like they're not giving Kitt a chance. He has said repetitively that he's not doing this out of love. So why don't they just come forward and be like, so yeah, Paedyn wants to marry you for the good of the kingdom, but I'm going to be her consort or whatever you call it.
So it's just a marriage
on paper.
Yeah.
And it's not.
For the kingdom to kind of not forgive her, but at some point try and move forward.
Yeah, so that they can accept ordinaries by accepting her as queen or whatever. Like, why don't they just come to Kitt and be upfront?
I think they just feel odd around Kitt because they don't know how to handle him. He's been acting so weird lately, so I feel like that might be their reservation.
Did anybody pick up on the fact that Edric rubs his neck like his father, and now we're seeing Kitt do it too?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
There's a lot of similarities that he starts to like while you're getting Edric's chapters. I feel like you start to see Kitt he's not unraveling, but he's now in the position where he's had a lot thrown at him. He wasn't expecting his father to pass the title on to him so soon, and he's also grieving his father at the same time. So you just see the similarities in not only that they're father and son, but that approval he always wanted, and he's still, even in after his death, trying to find a way to make that still happen.
Yeah, he's just going to go about it in a different way. He said he's going to do it through legacy.
Yeah.
Like he's going to make himself important.
Do you think you would still be there if you were Paedyn? Are you still seeing Kai? I guess your answer would be you would just go to Kitt and tell him what's up. But if you're Paedyn, are you trying to escape out the back door, or are you just doing exactly what she's doing in the book?
I feel like I would want to be upfront with Kitt, especially knowing that he's so hurt with my betrayal before. Like, this time I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hurt you in that way. I'm going to just be upfront with you. And this is what I'm dealing with, because you're proving that you can handle bad things, right? You're doing a pretty good job so far from my eyes. So why can't I just come to you and be truthful?
It's so frustrating to me that he just keeps holding the betrayal over her head, because anyone in their right mind would say, hey, that really sucks that you betrayed me, but also we've been killing your people for a really long time, so I understand why you did. But he never puts him in her shoes.
I think the only difference that it would be for me is if I was Pei or Kai in this sense, is I would have had the conversation. It's harder, I understand, for Pei to have this conversation with Kitt. But if I was Kai, I would have told my brother, you can't erase my feelings for her even by marrying her. Like, I would have confronted that and then been like, if our relationship still stands, this is me letting you know. This is you acknowledging it, basically, because I don't think you can fight that. You can try, but I don't think it works.
He was given that opportunity at the beginning, right? In the last book, when he initially, before he asks Paedyn to marry him, he gave Kai the chance to speak up. But they didn't know what the outcome of him speaking up would have been. So I feel like after they learned Kitt's mindset doing that, maybe then go to him and be like, you know what? You asked me this and I wasn't truthful and I'm here to be truthful.
I just want to be like, if I was Kai, pick a different ordinary. Pick someone else. Don't choose her. We'll go run off and go live in a different nation. You can say I died. You could say we died.
Or just step down from the throne and let me be king because I'm the spare.
But what were you saying as far as like another ordinary for Kitt to pick another order? You said Kai, so that's why I was confused.
No, if I was Kai, I would tell Kitt to pick a different ordinary.
No, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be Paedyn.
No. The only reason that he states at this moment is why he chooses Paedyn is because if he doesn't marry her, his only other option is to kill her. This whole book is about lying. Fake her death, fake Kai's death, and send them on a honeymoon. Let's get this over with.
I mean, that's fair.
Just it's another option. It'd be a much shorter book if that was the outcome.
I still think if it was me, I do appreciate that like she was given the opportunity through this marriage pact basically to try and quote unquote what she thinks unite the ordinaries and the elites. But if I was in this book, I would be like, no, this is a test to fail. I don't want to be captured, just like all of the second book was. I'm leaving with myself and whoever wants to come with me that loves me. That is up to them. But I am leaving. I want no part of this because truthfully, like she killed the king. So everyone's going to not only hate her for being an ordinary in those trials, but also killing the king. You're not going to get that forgiveness over the next of your lifetime.
It's not like he wasn't a beloved king.
No,
because his people are delusional under his lies and deceit. They've been made to think that they're so much better than everybody else around them. I think it's very naive of Kitt to do this to Paedyn.
If I knew if I knew that Kai was going to become king, maybe I would have stayed. But knowing that Kitt's alive and that's who got past the throne, I'd been booking it. I've been like, see you later.
Maybe
you will not find me.
Maybe we're just scheming to kill Kitt so that Kai can take the throne.
Yeah, but that's because we think he'd be a better king.
But you're saying pull the van around, whoever wants to come. Kai, Ellie, get in.
It's more of a boat at this point.
Lenny. I don't love Lenny though. I feel like I slowly lose love for. I also feel like he's shady. When they were outdoor, it's just kind of shady how they get separated, and then he just shows up at the palace. I don't know, Lenny. You're throwing some shade, man. I don't like it.
He explained himself.
No, not good enough for me.
It's a back and forth odd. Like, I feel like she almost wanted him to be sketchy, but then at other times she wanted him to be her, like, best friend. Yeah. Because he still calls her, like, nicknames, and they still have that, like,
and they
bond.
hug each other and bond. But then if I was also Lenny, I'd let her kill Blair.
I'd be like, Lenny, Gail, you're staying behind.
I see a lot of people say that it's because Lenny and Blair had a thing. And that's why he goes. But, like, it was never truly, like, explicitly said. It was just kind of, like, possibly there.
Yeah.
Because even his answer to Paedyn most of the time when she's fuming or doing something stupid is like, you need to think about that princess or like queen or whatever,
like,
you know?
Lenny, stop being such a killjoy.
Let her have her revenge.
I'm in a mood. Yeah. Do we like Kitt covering for his father and why he attacked Paedyn? I mean, obviously we don't like it, but do we understand why he is doing it?
Yeah, I do. Because you don't want to paint the king and tarnish his reputation as his son. You don't want to do that. However, it might have made the transition a little bit smoother for yourself had you shown the people what a monster he was.
Yeah, fuck it. I think it needs to be known. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I agree with you. I agree with Jenna. It's just like this process would have gone a lot smoother if you said, hey, my dad did do some good things for this kingdom, but in the end, he chiseled an O into Paedyn's chest, so she had no choice to kill him.
He was a fucktard, and I just think it's funny that he thinks he's protecting Paedyn and saying that she did everything in self-defense when he doesn't even know the full fucking story. Like, just ask Paedyn what really happened, because she didn't just kill your dad. She literally protected her own life.
Well,
I just don't understand how he thinks that he's lying when he says that.
Well, I
It's
think
just
they-
so frustrating.
I
At
think they
this
need
point-
to address the fact that like his hatred for the ordinaries is just, it's delusional. Like, why go to that extent to quote unquote protect the elites when they're just human beings too, with less power? At the end of the day, that's the argument. You know it is.
stop protecting the bad people.
It's biased pig-headedness, and it's passed on from leader to people, and it needs to stop. And by protecting
Yeah.
Say
the
it to the camera.
pig-headedness, you're not helping your people.
Well, we already kind of talked about it. The next question is,
Mhm.
are we angry with Lenny for guarding Blair? Of course.
Duh.
We're all angry that Blair is still alive.
Open that door yourself, Lenny. Let her in.
Or just do it yourself, Lenny.
Kill her.
Do you feel bad for Blair? Do you feel like she was asking Pay to kill her?
At this point, do I feel bad for Blair? No.
Okay. I want to ask that again later.
Do you get annoyed with Kai's confidence? He's keeping these promises he can't keep. Does that annoy you, or do you find it cute?
Endearing.
Endearing.
Yes.
You do? You don't get annoyed with it at all?
I think it's a little delusional to tell her to keep playing the role of queen while you're saying all of this stuff to her. Like, you need to choose a side, buddy. And he obviously is struggling with, like, do I be loyal to my brother and my kingdom, or do I be loyal to my love and Paedyn? He doesn't know what to do.
The answer to that. It's moving that ring from a different finger and
Yeah.
showing you how much you mean to me.
I mean, just the jealousy that's starting to come out when he said he's going to be okay with it. It's not going to work out.
Yeah, they have
dude.
one dinner together and
Yeah.
he's trying to tamper down his jealousy.
Yeah.
I would be so frustrated if I was Paedyn. I would literally be like, stop making promises you can't keep. We don't have a future together, but I will flirt with you. Just don't lie to me.
She's not being very fair to him either, though. I
No.
mean, she's asking him to be the guy on the side and to be secretive about it.
Yeah,
I don't
Kit
know.
can never know.
But that
Kit's
just
gonna know when the kid
He
comes
already-
out looking like Kai.
he already knows. There's no
There's
way
no
he
way
doesn't
he doesn't
already
know.
know.
Yeah, well, he
Like,
says he knows.
He probably knew Paedyn was there listening to him the whole time too. I do like that he's being real with Kai.
Do we blame Edric for hiding Iris? We talked about the greatest weakness a royal or king or someone can have is to love. So do you blame him for hiding her?
He gets obsessive and scared and hides her away instead of he lets Kit be out and about. He doesn't hide Kit away.
I have no remorse for him.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me that she would even let him hide her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my only thought is it's kind of odd that she's this powerful elite. And at this point, it just alludes that she is a powerful elite. We don't know what her power is. And she lets him hide her away. That's a bit sketch.
Even knowing that, like, she's about to go into labor, she's very close to her due date and stuff. And even his, like, excuse or his wording for why he has kept her protected, and then at the same time it's like the perfect excuse for later. Like, it's annoying.
It's like 5 years that she allows this to happen,
Yeah,
right?
because I guess Kit's about 4 or 5 at that point, right?
I don't know if they say how young he is.
Maybe not.
How old is Kit? What's the age difference between Kit and Kai?
I don't
2 years?
remember.
No, I don't
It's
remember.
at the very end of the book.
Yeah, I
but-
don't remember the exact wording of any of their ages now that I'm thinking about it. Kai, Kit, or Paedyn.
I think Paedyn's 18 and I think Kai's 19.
And then we
all
think
I'm-
Kit's like 20, 21.
Yeah, something like that. He can drink in the United States, but
They can
He's-
all drink. They're all
he's-
drinking at the balls. Did
he's
you notice
totally
that?
old enough to rule his own kingdom. They're all close in age. Why were we even looking up the ages? I don't
Well, I
remember.
need to know the ages because I'm putting something together.
So I'm just saying, I do think it's wrong that he keeps her hidden, but I do think she has ulterior motives to let him hide her. Because if she's supposedly this very powerful women don't like to be kept quiet unless they have a reason.
What do you estimate it to be?
Oh, I 100% know what it is.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. It has something to do with that rose on her bedside. I already asked if you were Paedyn, would you have ran away? And we kind of answered that. But now I'm really starting to think they should have just ran away. Once again, in the summary, I said how Kai blames himself for all of this. And I agree with that to a sense. Obviously, there's some things happening in the background. But Kai, you had your chance to run away with her. You were choosing this life. You brought this upon yourself. Do you guys agree with that statement?
I mean, we knew from the last episode that we did that you were pissed at Kai about that.
I am pissed at Kai. You had every opportunity to go have your fairy tale. He chose to bring her in at the Kitt's orders.
He did. He chose to be the enforcer. Like, he had the choice. He didn't even have the ring with him. He had the opportunity to not live that life, and he chose it.
Adriana, you're being oddly quiet. Are you not as mad at Kai as I am?
I mean, I'm mad at Kai and Kitt and Paedyn this entire book, so I'm just trying to hold it back.
I'm mad at everybody. The King, Kai, Kitt, Iris.
Honestly,
the other nations.
I'm not happy with anyone but maybe Ellie at this point.
Well, that's
Poor little Ellie. She knows everything.
I know, and then she gets the brunt of Paedyn's anger.
Yep, every time. Although I was happy that at least we know that Ellie and Adena had moments together while working on her dresses and helping getting her ready and stuff. And so Ellie also knows a side of Adena and can be there as a friend for Paedyn when she's kind of hitting those darkest moments. So I appreciate her role in this outside of what we were just talking about earlier with Lenny being a little bit more sketchy at times. Yes, he's there for some relief at other points where you're thinking, okay, maybe they do have a friendship, but it's just very oddly done.
Well, and how much of Ellie's connection to Paedyn was also filled in with Adena just telling her stories of Paedyn?
True.
Did she feel a closeness to Paedyn that actually wasn't between Paedyn and Ellie, but because of all the stories that Adena told?
You know, this is a side note, and this has nothing to do with this book, but you know who I also love in that role? In Spark of the Everflame, when she makes... whatever her name's cousin, her
I was going to say
handmaid.
Glow of the Everflame.
Oh, is it Glow?
No, I'm just giving you
It's
crap.
Spark.
It's Spark.
Well, Spark's the first one, but I don't remember when it happens that she
It's
makes her.
Spark, Glow, Heat, Burn, or is it Spark, Glow, Burn, Heat?
There's a lot
Heat's
of...
the last one.
There's light involved.
I listened to the interview with Penn Cole that the
How'd that
Fantasy
go?
Fangirls did.
I've been wanting to listen to it, but I don't want it
She said
to.
some enlightening things.
Oh, I don't want to know.
No, I do, because now I want to do my deep
It's
dive.
not. It doesn't ruin anything. If there's one thing I think Penn Cole's good at, she's not going to give you a spoiler.
Are you?
That woman loves her cliffhangers.
She does.
I didn't see it on my first read, but it's weird reading this and thinking of the parallels of Adena and the King's death and how Paedyn and Kitt are dealing with it. A line that stood out to me is when Paedyn says, "My A left me to decorate the sky, and I don't know how to live, how to survive without her at my side." Earlier in the previous book, Kitt talks about how he doesn't even remember how to breathe without his father by his side. And then Paedyn goes on and says, "I can't go back. I can't lose any more of that warmth Adena planted within me." So it's almost like two parallels of these people that have lost someone, and one left warmth and one left darkness, and it's taking them on completely two different separate paths. So you kind of wonder if roles were reversed, would they have reacted the same? Because how they're dealing with it is the same.
That's beautiful. I love that you looked into that.
Yeah, grief is
Mm-hmm.
very different for different people. And
It can be destructive for some people if you let it fester and feed in that way.
Were you about to say a spoiler or something?
No, I just it's hard.
It just stopped your thought. You're just over it.
it's a ball of yarn up there, guys, and I don't know which string I'm pulling. It's watching two people grieve, and they're grieving different people for different reasons, and it's very cool to watch that. And you also see some from Kai, too. He's grieving the loss of the brother that he knew, watching him change into somebody else. He's not really grieving the loss of the king, and now he's
And
having
his mom is dying.
I don't know if he really cares about that so much.
He's just losing a lot at one time.
He's never had a lot.
Makes you wonder what he's going to do with all of it. During the dinner scene, Kitt states his biggest fear is failure/insignificance. We can have fun with this or get serious. What's your biggest fear? All right, I'll go first.
Emily, take it away.
Okay. I fear going to prison so much that sometimes I'm worried that I accidentally did something illegal that's going to take me to prison. Because can you imagine just being if you're in prison listening to this, I'm so sorry. Can you just imagine being in a cell and being told everything that you have to do and what you eat, and you can't get a Red Bull unless you probably give someone a pack of cigarettes. I don't know. They're just it just seems I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly. I just would feel so caged.
Also, though, there's a schedule. You don't make any decisions. They're all made for you. Like there's a very everything's laid out.
No,
very
it's
simple.
such a
You don't have to worry
nutritional meal.
about clothes.
You guys are describing my hell on earth. You're telling me if I want a Starbucks, I can't just get in my car and go get a Starbucks?
No, you have to shank someone in the bathroom for that, baby.
Yeah.
You know, playing off of that, I think mine would be the fact that I couldn't read what I wanted. So, like, if I was in that kind of situation, it would be more of like not having access to what I want to read, or being limited with what I'm being given, or tailoring the narrative to whatever you choose it to be.
It's not a very valid fear for you because I don't think you do anything except maybe speed and blow through stop signs. But
You never know.
but you know, it's there. I
Something
wouldn't
could
want to
happen.
go to prison.
It's a big fear of mine.
Back to our last episode. Would you survive?
Yeah. Would I survive prison? Shank or no? Jenna, do you have a fear that has come to mind?
My fear is very depressive.
You can
Well,
share
I
it
don't-
if you want, or you could just say spiders.
I don't want to lose the people around me.
Yeah.
I don't. That's
mhm.
my biggest fear.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
also
actually-
heights.
Yeah, you actually took the question. Yeah, I can't do
I
heights.
don't like heights.
Don't ask me to climb up even a ladder for anything.
I
I
have-
won't do it.
I have major panic attacks. I literally start hyperventilating. It's
Do
ugly.
airplanes bother you?
I don't enjoy airplanes very much.
I'm trying to think what's a tangible thing that I'm scared of, like heights. I really don't like fingernails, but I don't know if that's a fear.
Filing, the filing.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
okay.
nail.
Fingernail files. Well, only my fingers, not my toesies. I hate my fingers being filed.
It's kind of more of like a sensory thing. I'm
Is
not
it
sure
the
that's
sound,
a
or is it
real
like
big
it being done
fear.
to you that you don't like?
Oh my gosh. I just don't like it.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, you guys can plug your ears, listeners. This is probably this whole thing should have been a trigger warning, but this is a major trigger. I don't know if I can say it. So in Egypt, you guys are like, where is she going with this? A way that they used to torture people is they would take like what would be a toothpick and put it underneath your toenail and hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
And that makes me want to climb out of my own skin. So
My-
now I'm just saying things I don't like. They're not even fears anymore because I guess it's a fear that someone would come into my home and do that.
My mom had to have like surgery on her toes, and she said that the shot that they put in your toe was the worst pain that she's ever had. And she
I believe that.
she
See
did
it later.
natural childbirth, natural, and she said the shot in the toe was worse.
I don't. No, thank you. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
it for her
Anybody
bunion?
else curling the toes?
Yeah.
Or is it just me?
No, it's me.
Because
No, it's
I look
everybody.
like this right now.
I can't do anything with eyes. So like even
You
if you had like just like a blood vessel pop, no, I can do contacts
Okay.
fine. But it's like a blood vessel that's popped or like eye injuries.
Okay, but
No.
what's your fear?
What's my fear?
Is it something happening to
Getting
your eye?
stabbed in the eye.
I don't know if I necessarily have an irrational fear of something particular. It's just like you were saying, you can't handle that. That's something I can't handle. But I also am the type of person who has tryptophobia. So anything with like holes or nope, can't do it. Any clusters of like things that look 3D in that capacity, I can't do it. See you later. My husband and I were watching a video last night of cutting up like all the fruits in the world.
Oh, is it like a dragon fruit? or
Do they
something?
do a pomegranate?
I couldn't do pomegranate. I couldn't do papaya. Like both of those, I was like, I'm done.
What is the scenario where or did you just Google fruits being cut around the world? Why were you like? Was it on Instagram?
No, we were just watching YouTube videos, and we both love fruit, and we just wanted to like know how to like culinary do things, and we were just
how
looking
to cut them.
how to like properly cut them. So
I
like
thought you
how
were-
to cut a pineapple, how to cut,
I thought it
like
was
the
just
papaya.
ASMR of fruit slices.
no,
You know, it's just like
no,
someone.
it's just like
Fruit
proper
ninjas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you surprised the Scorches are chosen to test bravery? That she chose to send her back to where we just got out of?
That was a lot for me because I'm like the last book we went in, we got out. We went back in, we got out, and now we're going back in again. I'm like,
It's a lot of Scorches.
But I get that that's like the only trial that she hasn't been in besides they call it the swallows. Is that right?
Shallows.
There we go.
Spits of swallows, dear.
Spits or swallows.
It's from Austin Powers.
It's from Nasty Minds.
Spits or swallows? Oh, we are Nasty Minds.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that was a channel.
Yeah. It might be. Not one that I know.
Adriana, were you shocked they went back to the scorches? Get us out of here.
No, I wasn't. I figured something to do with the end of at least the last trial, or like where we hadn't gone yet in that first, but I didn't think it was going to be the first one back. I thought we would have hit somewhere else and then maybe like that would have been like her last test. So I was shocked that that was the first one she brought up, but I knew we were going back at some point.
I would have thought that it would be fun to just hold a whole nother trials with a group of people and maybe even throw in Kai again and then a lot of other people that can sign up. But that would probably been way too much like the Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I think it was smart that she
Didn't do that.
Only
Yeah.
Paedyn. Because when they said trials, I was like, no, not again. And then, so I'm very glad that it's different.
The willow tree becomes their safe place for both of them. Do you guys have a special place you like to go? An example I will use is my husband he is a therapist in a sense. And so he likes to have his patients imagine a safe place that they can go to when they're having a hard time dealing with anxiety or stress. And that might be your favorite coffee shop, but you have to describe the ambiance. It might be a childhood home. It might be something that I'm not even listing. So I just wanted to see if you guys had something, because that willow tree, they're always going back to, and it's become a safe place even for Paedyn, not just Kai.
I'm trying to think of like a tangible place that I would go to. The shower? Does that make sense? Like just being alone in the shower, like where
Letting the water hit your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There
you go.
You could have chosen anything, and that
No,
that was the right answer.
I'm trying to think personally for me, and it doesn't have to be like a specific one. It's just, yeah.
I would say probably Destin for me. Just growing up, I went on vacations a lot to Destin, and there have been some good trips and some bad trips, but overall, it was a place where almost my whole family would be together. So just thinking of the beach and getting the resort chairs and going and swimming in the ocean and getting burned for hours and hours it gives me peace.
When I was a child, I loved escaping to anywhere that there were trees. I would read under them. I would write under them. It was just where I could escape feeling claustrophobic or whatever the feeling was. But that was like listening to the birds outside. Even still to this day, I prefer to read outside. It's just that natural sound to me that calms me. But in recent adult years, what's like changed that for me is the water. Like I had never been to the beach before really growing up. So like my experience actually finally going, that sound of the waves, being able to, because the fear of the ocean itself is another thing. But like now experiencing that and hearing that can also replace some of my fears. And so I feel like that's my safe haven I go to when I need a calming moment.
It is something just so calming about the crash of...
Yeah. Or feeling the sand between your toes. I guess in my mind, I just didn't really understand like why people loved being on the beach all the time and like, damn, does it get hot? But the sand, depending on like which beaches you go to, like that was awesome. I appreciated that. So I can always like just kind of close my eyes and return to that. Yeah. So that was cool. I'm glad that you even said that was for you too.
I love the beach. I love the ocean. I love the mountains. I love big cities.
So when are we all three going?
To the beach?
Yeah.
We're going to do a Mexico book retreat getaway.
Perfect.
You got viewers, you can come, but you can't stay at the same resort and you won't know where we're at.
So we'll be appreciated if you fund it though.
Yeah. GoFundMe link here.
Just kidding.
Okay, favorite and or least favorite parts of this particular section.
I did not think that I was going to like the Edric passages when I saw the name. But I am very, very much enjoying that she added that to this book. I really, really like that.
When I first saw it, I was like, Edric, who is he? Because I didn't remember that it was the king. But I, too, enjoy those chapters a lot. And I will say, as frustrating and infuriating rereading it is with some of the characters, I am enjoying rereading it more because there are an infinite amount of Easter eggs that I 100% did not catch the first time that I am catching now, rereading it and being like, oh, well, that's quite obvious.
It's hard because I don't want to spoil anything because I know at this point Jenna hasn't even finished it for the first time. We're reading it with you as a second time, and so even preparing for these. So I'm trying very hard not to like jump ahead of where we're at in this recap.
My least favorite is just how in denial they both are and that they aren't running away. I want to scream at them.
I honestly, for some reason, enjoyed the dinners that Kitt and Paedyn started to have.
You enjoy them?
Yeah. Like, I enjoyed that she was kind of forcing that into their relationship and trying to get to know each other, trying to move past what, they're facing. But I don't know. To me, that was always an enjoyable read.
Yeah.
Each scene to me, no matter what you walked away with it, I kind of I loved those scenes.
Why are you giggling?
I don't know, because it was a weird like thing to bring up, but I
No,
did.
but if it's what you
genuinely,
like.
I really did.
I really love when basically Paedyn is telling the palace royals, bow down, bitches. Like, you are trying to kill me, but at the end of the day, you're gonna not even see my reaction because you'll be bowing at my feet.
My least favorite was the scene of the bomb where we see that kid. That was awful.
It was so hard. The fact that it was a kid, I wish she would have ran to help an adult. And then she's having to sit there and lie to him about the promises of being better. And she's already done that with her best friend. And now she's doing it with a literal child. It makes my tummy hurt. I don't like it.
Yeah, that was really rough.
That's the only thing that like stuck out to me that I was just like, oh, that was hard to read.
I think it's interesting, too, how Paedyn she's ready to take on the trials, but she's not very hopeful. She's seeing this. She's putting on a pretty good face for everyone around her to be like, I will be back. I just said my favorite part's her telling the people to bow down. But then her internal monologue when she's by herself seems almost panicked in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how am I going to survive this again?
Yeah, she does get down on herself like, I am just ordinary several times. And you're like, but you've proved to yourself and the kingdom already that you're not.
Right.
And you're doing this again. I know
she's concealing her she doesn't want anyone else to see it.
I've never had a scar like that, so I don't know how that would like manifest for me, but I just think that is heartbreaking that somebody scarred you and you're embarrassed that they scarred you outwardly and inwardly. That I think is just very heartbreaking.
Yeah, it makes me think of the movie Return to Me. Have you seen that? Return to Me. It's about a woman who gets the heart of her. She eventually dates him.
Yeah.
I think I might be ruining the movie. It's about a woman with heart surgery, and for 90% of the movie, she hides her scar from open heart surgery. And by the end of the movie, she is not hiding her scar from open heart surgery. And I think I would wear that with pride, too.
Isn't that where the guy and his wife are happily married and she dies in a car accident and then she's an organ donor, so...
Yeah. Which it happened in real life. And the worst part of that movie is when the dog is waiting for her to come home. And it's like a year later.
Oh, my gosh. That was awful.
It's like a year later, and the dog is still waiting by the door for her to come home.
I still can't watch the Futurama episodes with the dog.
Oh, I want to talk about it.
I skip it every time. I'm like, I can't go through that again.
Real quick, we'll do favorite line. There's only one right now. We'll have more favorite lines by the end. But page 89, it says, my future haunts my present, and it is grim. And that is when Paedyn is being down on herself on the likeliness of her living. But I thought that was such an interesting take. A lot of people think their past haunts them, but she's literally saying my future, what could happen, is killing my right now. It's destroying my right now. And I liked the way that was put.
That's anxiety, baby.
What could happen is destroying the now. Paedyn, it's okay. I have a spotlight. It's an article in Stylecaster. And it's the Powerless Dreamcast, the best choices to play Paedyn, Kai, Kitt, and more. We can just review Paedyn, Kai, and Kitt. The first one is who they would cast for Paedyn, which is it Freya Allen?
Mm-hmm. Freya?
She's in, what's that show she's in? The Witcher. She's the main character in The Witcher. Do you guys think that she makes a good Paedyn? That is
She
she's
looks
the
a
main
tad
character?
older.
Yeah, she does look older in that.
She looks older in this photo, but she's plays a young girl in The Witcher.
Maybe it's just the makeup for that scene.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she has grown since The
That's
Witcher has come
true.
out.
That is true.
She is a person.
She is a
She's
human.
not AI.
I think that's actually a pretty good cast for her.
I would agree.
Kai, Kitt, and King Edric all would fit as a family duo.
Yes.
Not duo, but you know what I mean.
Next is Kai, and it's Damien Hardung. I don't know. This is almost too pretty boy for me, though. I will say I expect him to have even darker hair and maybe look a little bit more like an enforcer.
If he had like the tattoo and the dark hair, I think that one would work okay.
Does Kai have a tattoo?
Yeah.
Of what?
I don't remember, but I know he has one.
Then Kitt, I feel like it's pretty accurate. I kind of picture a pretty boy for Kitt, the king's son. It's Noah
Yeah, that works too for me.
Lalund.
La 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 la.
Probably butchering all of this. And then Adena, I picture Adena looking a little softer. It's Antonia Gentry.
I think she works. But they just have really harsh makeup on her right there.
That's true.
She needs really bouncy curly hair.
Yes, yeah. The curly hair is a must. That's repetitively in there. I think this one, though, I 100% agree with, is King Edric being Nikolai Koster, which is, he plays anything with a castle he does really great at.
I don't know if I like who they've casted for Mac. I wanted to
Where
repeat
is he
that.
at?
He's
That's
further
a
down.
perfect little Lenny.
Yeah.
Lenny, Kit Connor, you need to play Lenny because you look exactly like him. That's
You're
a
almost
good
there.
Callum, too.
I've just been going through the list. That's just not who I pictured in my head as Mac.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Like, that's the only one that I'd be like, no, I firmly put my foot down.
I mean,
I picture Mac as like a very big, brawny type guy, pretty much.
you know who I picture as Mac? Hold on. What is
Well,
that
I mean, no,
movie?
because he's like Loot, so he's got to be skinnier, I guess.
he's in the upper part of, and he's like he makes weapons.
He's a blacksmith.
He's got to have the arm to do that.
Yeah.
So he probably is. All right, go check out stylecaster.com and check out that article, Powerless Dreamcast, and see if you guys agree with the casting. I don't even know if the person that wrote this article just pulled random actors or if some of those are rumored to be a part of the TV series that is coming. TV series movie.
I
Yeah.
forgot it was doing that.
So we could start rumors. Ooh, let's start one right now.
Now let's wrap it up. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. Next week we will be doing part 2 of our 3-episode review of Fearless. And be sure and check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and more. Tune in every Friday for a new episode of
Book Thoughts.
Thoughts.